Today we have to deal with the topic surprise. The Iranian attack on Israel has been revealed. Have you heard the latest news? Otherwise, he will not accept what happened. But these days, click the subscribe button and click if you're ready to reveal the truth. I want to ask a question about this astonishing revelation. Why was this attack successful? Stay tuned as we dig into the facts and uncover the shocking nature of Iran's attacks on Israel. Iran's surprise attack on Israel unveiled. Iran struck Israel with a central air assault, occurring 2 weeks after a suspected Israeli strike on its consulate in Syria. It marks Iran's inaugural direct attack on Israeli soil from its territory, dubbed Operation True Promise. The assault commenced Saturday night at approximately 20 CAU GMT, spanning around 5 hours, as per US officials. Explosions resonated in cities nationwide, including Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, triggering air raid sirens in over 720 locations. Iran's onslaught involved over 120 ballistic missiles, 170 drones, and 30-plus cruise missiles, revealed Israel's chief military spokesman, Daniel Hagari. Most projectiles were intercepted outside Israel. With assistance from the US, UK, France, and Jordan, minimal damage was reported, with one base in southern Israel sustaining minor infrastructure damage. Amidst the chaos, a 7-year-old girl suffered severe injuries from missile fragments, alongside others with minor injuries and anxiety. Additionally, the US intercepted numerous missiles and drones launched at Israel from Iraq, Syria, and Yemen, stated US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. Iran's attack on Israel. Locations targeted. During the assault, Israel's military directed residents in the northern Israeli-held Golan Heights, bordering Syria and Lebanon, and in southern cities like Nevatim, Dimona, and Eilat, to stay close to bomb shelters. Nevatim hosts an Israeli airbase, while Dimona houses a nuclear reactor. Eilat, Israel's southern Red Sea port, has faced disruptions due to repeated attacks by Yemen's Houthis on passing ships. Why did Iran assault Israel? Iran attacked Israel in retaliation for a suspected Israeli strike on April 1st that killed Major General Mohammad Reza Zahed and 6 other Iranian nationals, including another general in Damascus. According to David Desroches of the National Defense University, Iran is determined to be seen as taking action due to considerations of pride and prestige that are divorced from strategy and tactical utility. The attack on Israel comes amidst ongoing fighting between Hezbollah, a Lebanese armed group backed by Iran, and the Israeli military, which has been trading attacks across the Lebanon-Israel border since October 8th. What is the Israeli government saying? Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asserted that Israel is poised for victory, affirming readiness for any potential scenarios following recent attacks. He emphasized Israel's defensive and offensive preparedness, expressing gratitude to allies, such as the US and UK, for their support. Netanyahu underscored Israel's determination to retaliate against any threats and thanked international partners for their collaboration in thwarting the Iranian attack. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant echoed Netanyahu's sentiments, praising the successful interception of the Iranian assault and condemning Iran as a nation of terror. What is the Iranian government saying? Iran warned Israel of any response. The Iranian Armed Forces Chief of Staff, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, told state TV that if Israel retaliates, Iran's reaction would be much larger than the overnight bombardment, according to a Reuters report. Iran also warned Washington that backing Israeli retaliation would lead to the targeting of US bases. Earlier, Iran's mission to the UN cited the UN Charter provision for self-defense under Article 51 and said that the country considered the matter concluded. Its permanent mission at the United Nations said on X, the matter can be deemed concluded. However, should the Israeli regime make another mistake, Iran's response will be considerably more severe. It is a conflict between Iran and the rogue Israeli regime, from which the US must stay away. President Ebrahim Raisi issued an explanation hailing the brave men of Iran's Islamic Progressive Protect Corps, IRGC, who taught a lesson to the Zionist regime. What is the latest on the ground? the Homefront Command has adjusted its nationwide alert status for Israelis, signaling their release from the requirement of proximity to shelters. The authority referenced the disappearance of immediate dangers. In Tehran, government loyalists gathered under cover of night, numbering in the hundreds, to praise the airstrikes. The gathering happened at Palestine Square, close to the UK Embassy. Mir News organization, an informal outlet, disclosed the establishment of household flights at Tehran's Mehrabad Air Terminal, reflecting comparative activities in other Iranian urban center points until Monday morning. At the same time, the Israel Airplane Terminal specialist reported the reviving of airspace, successful from 7:30 am, 04:30 GMT. Jordan, Iraq and Lebanon revived their airspace on Sunday after a transitory shutdown that started late Saturday. Emirates, Etihad Aviation routes, Fly Dubai, and other aircraft based within the joined Middle Easterner Emirates balanced flight plans, cancelling particular courses and starting preoccupations in response to Iran's forceful moves. Swiss Universal Discuss Lines, too, ended operations to and from Tel Aviv. Russia's lead carrier, Aeroflot, rerouted its Saturday evening Moscow to Tehran flight, diverting it to Makhachkala in Russia's Dagestan locale. What could come next for Iran, Israel and the region? Analysts over the last couple of hours have been saying that Iran's attack appears carefully calibrated to make a point, but not to cause so much damage that it escalates the situation into a wider conflict, Al Jazeera's Rory Challan said, reporting from occupied East Jerusalem. The Israeli War Cabinet has been authorized to respond in some way to Iran, Challan said. According to Al Jazeera's diplomatic editor James Bays, the US seemed to have had some contact with Iran before this attack took place. Some of this may well have been choreographed to a degree. The Biden administration, ultimately it has lots of tools because the US is the main supplier of funds and weapons to Israel. President Biden hasn't acted till now in a strong way over the war on Gaza, but remember what's at stake here. Because if we do have an all-out war between Iran and Israel, that will cause chaos in this region. And it will cause chaos beyond the Middle East, Bays said. The Americans are trying to praise Israel, but behind the scenes, I'm sure the Biden administration was not at all happy about the Iranian consulate attack in Damascus, because it knows Iran really had no alternative but to come up with some sort of response, he added. What are the international reactions so far? The air attack has sparked criticism from Israel's supporters and cautions that it could lead to more tension in the Middle East. President Joe Biden has affirmed that the US will not engage in any aggressive actions against Iran, as stated by a high-ranking official in the administration. However, they reaffirmed their backing for Israel. We do not seek conflict with Iran, but we will not hesitate to act to protect our forces and support the defense of Israel, US Defense Secretary Austin said. The United Nations Security Council, UNSC, is also anticipated to convene an urgent session at 4 p.m. New York time, 20 Zahn GMT, on Sunday, as stated by Malta, the Council's current president. Israel's permanent envoy to the UN, Gilad Erdan, labeled Iran's assault as a serious and perilous escalation. Saudi Arabia's remote service has communicated concern about military acceleration within the locale and called on all parties to work out restrictions. China has too communicated profound concern about the escalation, saying it could be a reflection of the Gaza struggle and pressing critical activity. India also expressed concern and called for swift deregulation, the return of restrictions and brutality, and a return to majority rule. The Ministry of External Affairs has established a close relationship between international security agencies and Indian communities in the region. The Group of Seven, G7, plans to hold a video conference on Sunday. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is in charge of the central administration of the G7 countries. Said on X, "We express strong concern about a further destabilization of the region and continue to work to avoid it."